I think there is a sneaky tough game in the Big Ten, sneaky interesting game in the Big Ten, and it's Michigan State traveling to Nebraska. What do you last remember about the Cornhuskers? Is it losing to Michigan? Fair. That's most people's last memory of Nebraska, unless you are a diehard of Big Red. So they come home, and they're 11.5-point favorites, according to our friends at FanDuel, against Michigan State. It seems like a lot to me. I think Nebraska, roster-wise, is ahead of Michigan State. I don't know how big that gap is relative to what that point spread would indicate. I think that says more about the home field advantage than the team itself. Michigan State, quietly, off to a good start. They lost to USC, and the Trojans were the better team, so they've still got some room to grow. We get that, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Has Nebraska's offense been wildly impressive at all times this year? It's been all right. It's been up and down, has its moments, comes and goes. Aidan Chiles is quietly playing really good football. 68% completion, 9 touchdowns, 1 pick. That was the knock on him coming into the season because, like a lot of young quarterbacks, he struggled with, wait for it, turnovers. I know we've never seen it before. Oh, wait, we have. Well, he's starting to get better. Second year in the system, really his third when you go back to his time at Oregon State. Sorry, Beaver fans, to bring that up. But he's got the same head coach, same offensive coordinator, and everything's the same. He's better. He is a better football player. Now, their best win so far is against Boston College at home in overtime. I'm not saying they're a world beater, but I look at Nebraska in this game and say, you've got a sneaky amount of pressure to go out and win this one. The goals Nebraska had coming into the season are still on the table. But what's been the Cornhuskers' problem in the past? They can't get past games, frankly, like this one, where you look on paper and go, well, Nebraska should win the game. I mean, they're a better team. They're at home. I mean, come on, this isn't going to be. And then they just find a way to lose. This is one of those games where in the past, Nebraska finds a way to lose. I go back to that season opening win against Cincinnati, which, might I add, going to talk about them more in just a moment, looks more impressive than it did to a lot of people before the season, myself included. I go back to that game, and one of my biggest takeaways was this was one that it feels like they would have lost, and they're getting over a mental hump. This is a mental hump sort of game. Can you go out and play to a standard instead of the level of your opponent? Feels like Nebraska's made a habit out of doing that over the last several years. So I think Nebraska's going to win. I'll take them at home as a better team. I think Michigan State can hang around. 27-21. I'll take the Cornhuskers to ultimately get the win, but I'm just very interested to see how Nebraska comes out in this particular spot. Like, can they go against a average team in Michigan State that's going to be fighting for bowl eligibility this year? They're halfway there. It's a tougher road ahead now that you're in Big Ten play, of course, but a bowl caliber team. Can you go out and get a nice, comfortable win, or are Nebraska fans going to have to sweat another one possession game? And you know what? I got to change my score prediction there. You can't make the score prediction Nebraska winning a one possession game. That's just bad juice. That's not what you want to do. 30-20. I'll take Nebraska to beat Michigan State. But not one of my best bets, but I do think the Cornhuskers win. Here's another one that is a contributing factor to what feels inevitable. Michigan hosts Wisconsin this week. Luke Fickell's in year 3. Boy, it should be so much better than this. This should be a game like Florida, Texas that has a lot of hype, buzz, attention, pomp and circumstance, discussion. And this is the first time I'm mentioning it this week on the show. Why? Because Michigan is a much better team, and Wisconsin feels flat, weak, lifeless. Nothing good is happening in Madison at the moment, other than every day that passes is one that gets closer to basketball season. That's about all you can say for Wisconsin sports right now. So Michigan's a big favorite in this spot. Again, I don't know about the Wolverines being a huge favorite. They don't always blow out Big Ten teams. They win, and it's comfortable. Like the Nebraska game, for instance. You know, Michigan was more than just 3 points better than the Cornhuskers that day, but they ended up winning the game tight. And that's just kind of the way Michigan rolls. But they're very good at it, so I'm not worried about them in this spot whatsoever. Maryland walked into Madison and blew out the Badgers. Yeah, that's a real thing that happened this year. Even after Wisconsin took Maryland's quarterback, this is a pride game for Wisconsin. What kind of pride do you have? Can you go out and put something on the field that at least makes you feel like, okay, we believe in our head coach, or are you just going to go and roll over and get pushed around? Hope you come ready to stop the run, because if you don't, I have a sneaky suspicion, just a thought, that Michigan's going to run the ball a whole heck of a lot. I think the Wolverines win comfortably, 28-13. Speaking of earlier, I mentioned Iowa and not Iowa State, but I mentioned Cincinnati. That's Iowa State's opponent. So if I just generally speaking say, hey, a team that was under 500 last year is hosting the reigning conference runner-up who's currently undefeated and ranked inside the top 20 nationally. What do you think the spread is there? Is it the team that's had more success by, they're on the road, so, probably 7, 6, 8. Iowa State is a point spread underdog in this game, according to our friends at FanDuel. Cincinnati's a 1.5 point favorite. Very quietly, Brendan Sorsby and Scott Satterfield, dynamic duo, ? I don't know. Sorsby can ball. If you haven't watched him in the Big 12, most of you haven't. Good football player. He's better than some of the quarterbacks I've watched go in the... Arch Manning and DJ Lagway have played way worse than Brendan Sorsby this year. Imagine if you'd made that claim before the year began. Pretty wild. That's reality. So Cincinnati got a big win last week on the road against Kansas. They came back late. They had to convert a 4th and 10 amongst other things to take the lead in Lawrence, and they did, got the win. And now you look at Cincinnati and go, are they a surprise team in this chaos Big 12? They could inject some serious chaos this week. If they are unbeaten with a win over Iowa State, you got to move them way up the power rankings. Let me go back for those on YouTube and show you my preseason Big 12 power rankings. Cincinnati is there at 12th. Yep, underrated them. Colorado's there at 11. I don't know why I had Colorado that high, frankly. But this is my preseason 12th rated team in the Big 12 power rankings wise, hosting the number 3, and number 12 is favored. Look, as I have learned trying to make my best bets this year, that's usually a sign Vegas knows something that you and I don't. Give me the upset. Give me Cincinnati to win the football game over the Cyclones, and let's just throw some more chaos onto the table. Why not? Why not in this league? Let's take Cincinnati, 31-30. I think they find a way to get it done. So Duke at Cal, another interesting game, because Duke is a 2-0 team in the ACC, and one that very quietly, despite subpar non-conference results, could pull a 2022 or 21, I think it was, Utah in the Pac-12, RIP, and lose a couple non-conference games, still get to the conference championship game. I don't know that Duke could win it necessarily, but Darian Mensah is looking a heck of a lot better. What a quarterback matchup. Darian Mensah, Jaren Kiabe Sangopolo-Tele. Big NIL deal against future big NIL deal between two ACC schools that are not traditional football powers here. Duke is favored by 2.5. I'm so tempted to pick Cal. I really am, because I don't like teams making these cross-country trips. It's difficult. It hasn't always gone particularly well. Cal just did it last time out, though. Got it done. I picked against them, and I'm going to do it again. Duke favored by 2.5. High-scoring game. I think Mensah and JKS are putting on a show in Berkeley this weekend. I think it's going to be fun to watch. Winner stays unbeaten in ACC play. Kind of an important matchup. Don't overlook it. I'll take Duke 34-30. I think they knock off Cal.